Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Welcome, welcome to another live crafting tutorial. Oh, you can see my jumper hanging over there. Let me move that. It's been cold. We've um we've been trying not to use our heating as much to cut down on electricity costs, of course, because it's all getting so expensive. But yes, so I've had lots of extra layers going on. Now, I just realized I haven't plugged in my phone, so I better do that just in case. We don't want to lose power. Here I was thinking I was all organized this morning, but no. Let's just plug that in. There we go. All right. And I've got my earbuds in today, AirPods, I should say, my AirPods in today because I've noticed that the sound has been fading in and out a little bit when I've been filming live here on YouTube, which is really weird because it doesn't do that when I film over on Facebook. But when I film live here on YouTube, the sound tends to fade in and out a little bit, goes louder and softer and a bit crazy. So I thought, well, I'll try with my AirPods today and see if that makes a difference. And if not, then I will investigate further and see what happens, see what I can find out. All right, so let me bring up this live on my other devices so that I can make sure that I see comments there. So let's just see. Okay, great. I've got it. All right, now the only problem is, oh, there we go. Okay, was hearing myself in my AirPods from my iPad, but I've turned the sound down, so it's all good. It's very distracting when you can hear yourself. Alrighty. Okay, so as you're jumping on, say hi, let me know that you're here. Feel free to craft along with me if you would like to, or just sit back and relax and enjoy what I have to share with you today. I have got a really lovely masculine card today using the Earthen Elegance Suite. So I've been playing with that a lot lately, and I have a class coming up with that as well. I'll talk to you more about that in a moment. But I've just been trying to maximize as much as I can out of this suite and just give you lots and lots of ideas as well. Because we want to use our products, don't we? Like, we want to make sure that we get the most value from them, use them as much as possible, and have lots of different ideas and different ways of using them. So that is my aim, to help you to use your products. Yeah, and I thought, you know what, I don't make many masculine cards and I need some masculine thinking of you cards. So I thought, well, that's what we will create today. So very simple layout, keeping it quite clean and simple. So it should be, well, let me just say, it should be a quicker live than normal, but let's see how we go. I won't make any promises because, you know, you never know what's going to happen. Oh, hi Sherry, great to have you here all the way from Indiana, USA. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, hang on one sec. Goodbye, Siri. Goodbye, Siri. Siri has just turned on for some reason, and now I can't get rid of it. Siri. No. Goodbye, Siri. Hang up, Siri. How do you get rid of Siri? It's come up on my iPad and I can't get rid of it. Bye, Siri. Hang up, Siri. I don't want you anymore. Siri, go away. How do you get rid of it? Oh, I don't know how to get rid of this. Anyway, hopefully it will just hang up in a minute. I don't know why. It must have picked up something that I said and it came on automatically. Anyway, we won't worry about it. All right, so let me share a few things with you that are happening in the world of Stampin' Up. How do I... Siri, how do I tell you to stop?
Hang up, Siri. I don't need you. Oh, there we go. It's gone. Yay. Oh my goodness. That was so distracting. Oh, okay, it's gone now. So that's the key, is to say hang ups. I won't say that the SIRI word. Oh my goodness. So, all right. Laurie's here too. Hi, Laurie. Thank you so much for joining us all the way from Ohio. It's great to have you here. Okay, so we just had a little distraction there. SIRI, I won't say the word, just popped up and would not turn off, but she's gone now, so it's all good. All right, let's jump in to some Stampin' Up news. Hey, Megan, how are you? Long time no see. It's great to have you here. How are you? How's little Basil? All right, so let me share with you a few things before we jump into our project today. I've got a few things to share with you. So at the moment, you might have heard, and if you haven't, let me share with you, Stampin' Up has got an amazing designer series paper sale. So you can get 15% off selected designer series papers. In fact, it's a lot of them. It's 13 different packs of designer series papers, all 15% off. So be sure to check them out. There is a flyer. So here's the flyer. It's double-sided. There we go. So that shows you a bit of an overview, and you can check those out more in my online store or in the catalog as well. You can have a look more closely at those ones in the catalog. But if you go to the online store, you can actually see them really well there too. And it'll show you, if you click on sales or sales and specials. I'm just trying to think what the terminology is on the website. Is it sales and specials? Something like that. Then it'll come up and show you all the ones that are on special. So be sure to check them out, because we all love our papers, don't we? Being paper crafters, and I'm assuming that you are if you're watching this video, then you know that we love our beautiful pretty papers. So this is a great time to stock up on your favorites, or perhaps some that have been on your wish list that you haven't had the opportunity of purchasing yet. So this designer series paper sale goes for all of June, from the 1st to the 30th, which is awesome. So you've got plenty of time. So be sure to jump in on that one. That's really awesome. All right, Megan says, oh, you've been sick, Megan. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Dreaded cold won't go away. Aw, oh, sorry about that. I hope that you feel better really soon. And Basil, her puppy dog, is as naughty as ever. He's a cheeky boy. Oh, but we love them all the same, don't we? They're gorgeous and they're great companions. Yeah, okay, so that's happening now. Also too, we have a brand new kit that just released yesterday, the Boho Beach kit. This one is stunning. Look at this. This is so down my alley. So yeah, in tune with what I love, with lots of texture, and the colors are gorgeous. Just look at that. Look, aren't they beautiful? So that's the Boho Beach kit. I didn't put down the code for that, but if you go to the online store and just put in the search bar Boho Beach kit. If you don't know how to search for something in the online store, just look up in the top, I think it's the top right hand corner, you'll see the little magnifying glass. Click on that, and that is your search bar, and that'll come up with yeah, the search, and you just type in there what you want to search for. But check out this kit. That is just so gorgeous, and it makes 8 cards, I think, this one. 8 cards, 2 designs. You get a stamp set in there. You get a little ink spot as well. Oh, and let me think, what was the color of the ink spot? I did look yesterday on the online store. Oh, it was a different color in an ink spot that we haven't had before, and I was like, oh, that's awesome to get that in a little ink spot in as part of the kit, and then you get to keep that to then create with other, and you know, design other projects. Oh, what color was it? Let me think. Oh, I remember, copper clay. It was, oh no, wait, was it copper clay or pecan pie? It was one of those. You can see it in the stamped image there. It might have been pecan pie. It's a little bit softer than the copper clay. It was one of those anyway. And I thought, oh, that's awesome. Awesome to get those little ink spots. They're so handy to have. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really nice kit, Megan. Yeah. Did you miss that one? You hadn't seen it yet? There's been a lot happening in the Stampin' Up! World, especially here in Australia in the last 24 hours. Yeah, and so we've, yeah, some things have been, some of us are still catching up with some things that are going on. So yeah, really pretty kit, Laurie. Yeah, it's gorgeous. You'll look that one up. Yeah, awesome. Good, Megan. Yeah, it's beautiful. So all of those products, the paper specials, the boho kit, you can put any of those in your starter kit. If you're not yet a demonstrator and you love those products, and you have other things on your wish list, and your order is getting up there and you love Stampin' Up! Products, then consider joining, because at the moment Stampin' Up! Has got this amazing starter kit option for you. Promotion, that's the word. So the starter kit price is still the same. Here in Australia, it's $169, but you get to choose $283 worth of product at the moment for June. So this is a special that is just available for June. And I mean, you can always get the starter kit, but at the moment you get added value in the starter kit. So you'll get $114 worth of free product in the starter kit, and you get to choose what you would like in that starter kit. It's fully customizable, so you can choose whatever you like to put in there. Those sale price items, you can put them in your starter kit at the sale price or the discounted price with those designer series papers, so you can get more. And yeah, so definitely take advantage of that while you can. If you would like more information about that, please feel free to get in contact with me, and I would love to give you more information, answer your questions. But of course, I would love you to come and join my team, the Papercraft Gems. We are a beautiful team of beautiful people. We have a lovely community, and we just have so much fun together. We do lots of things together. We have a great time. We craft together each month, and throughout the month we have crafty challenges. We have our first team retreat, an in-person full-day retreat coming up in August, so we're very excited about that. And we do lots and lots of other things as well. It's a really beautiful community to be a part of. Oh, at the moment we have been doing a card swap, so I will have those to share with you next Thursday. Hopefully I'll have them all here by next Thursday, so I can share those with you next Thursday. So I've got some already that are filtered in, but I'll wait until I receive all of them before I share them. So that's really awesome, and that'll give us all some more ideas of using some of those beautiful products from the new catalog. Now guess what? I didn't pull out my new catalog. Of course, I knew I would forget something. Let me scoot on over and I'll grab my catalog. Here it is. It's always handy. It's almost within arm's reach. Well, it is in arm's reach if I scoot my chair across, but this is our beautiful annual catalogue. Now, if you haven't got one of these and you're here in Australia, please let me know. I would love to get one out to you. In fact, if you have a look in the details of this video, so if you are watching on YouTube, all the details will be below the video. When I upload this to Facebook later on, all the details will be above the video, but all my links will be there. So if you click on my link, it says find all my links here. And if you click on that little thing that says Linktree, Mandy Witherby, it'll go to all of my links, and then you can navigate from there where you want to go. So if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, please do that so that I can keep you up to date with all the latest happenings in Stampin' Up. If you would like to request a new catalog, that flyer as well that I showed you for the paper sale, I'm pretty sure I put the link on there for that too. So check that out. I need to double check that actually. I think I did. Yeah, and I'll actually just check that now to make sure. Now that I'm saying that, did I remember to put that there? Yes, I did. Yes, so the link is there, and also my joining link is there too if you would like to join with my team. And my shop link is there. Everything is there. Everything is there, as well as a link to my latest class, which is the Earthen Elegance card class. So the registrations for this one are going to close on Tuesday the 13th of June, so that's next week. Now, in this class, we're going to be using the Earthen Elegance Suite to create 5 beautiful cards. They're all very detailed, so they are great for the avid crafter, including a fun fold card as well. So these are really beautiful. There's a little sneak peek there. All the details for this class are also in that link, in the link tree. So you can click on there and read what is included in the class, and then you can register there as well, and then I will contact you in regards to payment. Excuse me. Now, if you're outside of Australia, there is an option for you as well for this class to purchase the PDF tutorial. So if you're interested in that, then feel free to click on that link as well, and yeah, and register for the PDF tutorial, and I'll be in contact with you about that as well. But we would love to have you come and join us for the card class. This suite is just gorgeous. And let me mention too, so there's 5 cards in the class. Then as well as that, I have done a couple of weeks ago, before I designed the class, I used this suite and I made 2 cards, and I filmed that on videos. So they're here in YouTube. You can source them. So then if you add that on to what's available for in the card class, that's 7 cards. Then I made this one on Monday, and this one is also here in YouTube. I've uploaded it to YouTube. I made this beautiful one on Monday, and this one was using scraps from design that were left over from designing my class. These were all scraps. The only thing I die cut extra was the circle, and everything else was scraps, bits that I hadn't used on my other projects. These strips, these designer series paper, were all off-cut strips. This was a piece that was left from the paper pack from the class. So yeah, so I made that one on Monday. So that's, where are we up to? 5, 6, 7, that's 8 cards. And today we're making another one with some, yeah, with some more products from the class. Well, not from the class, but from, yeah, from that suite. So yeah, so there's lots and lots of things that you can do. In fact, the designer series paper I'm using is leftover paper that I didn't use for the class. So in the class, you will get plenty of products to create the 5 projects that are in the class. Plus you'll have enough left over to make lots of other cards as well. So there you go. So definitely check out that class. Alrighty. Now, let me catch up on comments because I've been chatting a little bit here. Where was I up to? Let's see. Hey Brenton, how are you? Great to see that you have jumped on while I was chatting. Oh, thank you, Megan. Megan looked up for us what color ink spot is in the kit. The boho, oh, where did I put it now? Here it is. The boho beach kit. This one, it is pecan pie. Oh, beautiful. Thank you very much, Megan. So pecan pie ink spot you get in here, plus you get a little stamp set, plus you get all of the supplies to make the 8 cards. It's an all-inclusive kit, and you get the block, the little clear block as well, so that you can mount your stamps onto the clear block. So you get everything you need in those kits. They're fantastic. Thanks so much, Megan. Oh, Laurie says pecan pie is her new favorite brown color. Oh, beautiful. It's a really lovely color, isn't it? Yeah, I love it too. The retreat sounds fun. Yes, we're going to have a blast on our team retreat. We're going to be crafting. We'll be having games. We'll be having lots of fun. It's just, yeah, and it's going to be an all-day thing. And then There's a dinner option as well for anyone who would like to go out for dinner afterwards. So it's going to be a great day. Hi Rose, how are you? Great to have you here. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Laura. You like that card? Yeah, the one I made on Monday. Oh, I've put it back in the little baggie now, so you're getting all the reflection. If you want to see how I made that one, the video tutorial is here. All of the details as well for this one, I'll take it out of the bag. All the details for this one that I made on Monday are over on my blog now as well. And my blog is mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com. So all of the details, the colors, the measurements, the supply list, they're all over there. So you can go and check that out if you are interested in that card. All right. Oh, Kathy's here too. Hi, Kathy. Kathy says, hi, Mandy. This suite is next on your list. Fantastic. Looking forward to seeing what you do with it. Oh, fantastic. Well, Kathy, in case you just jumped on, this is the card that I made on Monday. So I do have a YouTube live for this one. There's a couple of other, I do have a YouTube video for this one. There's a couple of other videos as well that I made a couple of weeks ago using the Earthen Elegance Suite. And I've got the class coming up. So this class here, I've got this one available until next week, next Tuesday on the 13th of June. This one will be closing. So yeah, so we're going to be using that suite to create 5 beautiful projects in that class. And if you're interested to see what's included in that class, you can click on my link, which is in the description of the video. And there is a link there to go through to the class information and registration form. So you can check that one out there if that is something that you might be interested in. All right. Kathy's putting up some hearts. She loves it. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad. All right, so let's move all of this out of the way. All right. Now, how is the sound so far today? Is it fading in and out like it has been? I've put my AirPods in today and I'm hoping that they are picking up the sound today rather than my mic. I think it tends to more be though when I tip the camera down to the desktop that the sound starts to go a bit funny. It has been fading in and out a little bit. It's been there the whole time, but sometimes it goes a bit louder and then it goes back to normal. It's really bizarre. I don't know why it's happening, especially when I'm not moving, which is really weird. I thought when you're moving, obviously closer to the camera, further away from the camera, that makes sense. But when you're not moving and it does it, it's like really weird. All right, anyway, I'm going to tip the camera down onto the desktop so that we can get started. So sound is good so far. Thank you, Rose. Now, I know that Rose was watching last week, so you'll be able to tell me if there's any difference today, Rose. But let's see when we tip the camera down onto the desktop how we go today. All right, so I'm going to cover up the camera and tip that down onto my desktop so that yeah, you can see everything there, but I'll cover it up so I don't make you dizzy while I do the transition. So here we go. Hang with me for a moment. Oops. There we go. All right, bear with me. Oops, oops, oops. Hang on a sec. Let's get this all. All right, now you might hear me doing up all of the clamps. Okay, so there we go. And if I flip, and then we'll zoom in a little. There we go. I've got that little bit of a there we go. How's that? A little bit crooked. Let's straighten that up. And I think that looks pretty good. Good. Okay. Move some of these things out of view. There we go. Fantastic. All right. So I'll move my keyboard away now because I don't need that at the moment. just get that out of view. Here we go. All right, fantastic. Now, how's the sound now? Can you hear me okay? I do have the camera up a little bit higher today. I can move it down a little bit closer if the sound is no good, but I'm hoping that the sound is picking up through my AirPods actually rather than from my camera, so that the sound is more constant today. So if you could let me know, that will be really helpful. All right. Now, if you are looking for these products, any of these products today that I'm using, you can find them in my online store. And to get to my online store, if you go to mandyspapercraftcreations.blogspot.com, and then you can click on the shop button, and that will take you through to my online store. If you are shopping with me, the sound is lower. Okay. But the sound is good so far. Okay, but you can still hear me all right? Awesome. Thank you, Rose. That's fantastic. Let me know if there's any problems so that I can adjust the camera and we can, do some tests. You can help me. You can help me do some tests. If you are shopping with me, be sure to use my June host code. This is my June 2023 host code, K2UCTBUX. And with orders over $75, you will receive a thank you gift from me, but every order receives a thank you card as well. Now, if you are, sound is good. Oh, thank you so much, Sherry. That's awesome. Now, if you are shopping with me, please remember to sign in to your customer account or create a customer account if you don't already have one, rather than signing out as a guest, because if you sign out as a guest, I can't contact you. So you need to sign in as a customer, rather than checking out as a guest. So that's a Stampin' Up rule, that if someone's logs out as a guest, we can't contact them as a demonstrator. And I would love to be able to look after you and support you. So please make sure that you sign into your customer account. Okay, let's have a look at these gorgeous products. You will find them in the online store, but you will also find them in the annual catalogue. So if you go to pages 70 to 71, this is where you'll find the Earthen Elegance Suite. This is such a beautiful, beautiful suite. And I just have been enjoying playing with this so much. Today will probably be the last card that I make with this for a little while, because we're going to move on to some other products next week. Sound has gotten lower. Thank you, Megan. All right, I'm going to move the camera just a little bit closer. Sorry, just doing these adjustments. Hang on a minute. Now I'm really close to the camera. Okay, there we go. How is the sound? I've got to check my wood boards now to see if I'm straight. No, I'm not. I'm crooked. Hang on a minute. We'll fix that. There we go. Because otherwise, it's annoying if it's really crooked when we're creating. There. Much better? Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for your help. It's so filming on YouTube Lives, and some of you may have heard me say this already, filming on YouTube Lives is a new thing for me. I've only been doing YouTube Lives for just a few weeks, and it's different to filming a Facebook Live. The setup is different, and you know, there's different settings and things like that, but it appears too that the sound is a bit different, and I'm not quite sure why. You would think it would be exactly the same, but it appears that it's not. So I don't know if I'll have to end up getting an external microphone or what it is, but yeah, it's something I've been experiencing and trying to sort out. So thank you so much for helping me, everybody. So keep me posted, let me know how it goes. All right, yes, so this beautiful suite. So we've got the stamp set and the dies, and of course, if you buy the stamp set, you'll be wanting the dies. So be sure to get the dies as well. Get them together as a bundle and save yourself 10%. There's a code down here at the bottom of page 71 where you can do that. So there's the bundle code down there. And then of course there is the gorgeous designer series paper. and we've got the wavy trim as well. Now each one of those products in the suite is listed over here on page 70, but if you want all of them, there is one code for that. So this is the code here to get all of the products in the entire suite, okay? So Stampin' Up makes it really easy for us, so we don't have to be putting in a whole heap of different codes. Just put in that one code and you'll get everything in the suite. So that's the stamps, the dies, the paper, and the trim as well. Alrighty, there we go. So this stamp set is a clean stamp set, so it's the red rubber stamp set. Now I've already put my stickers on my stamps. At the moment I've got my stamps on the block, and you know what I just realized? I didn't adjust my lights down onto the desk. So let me do that now to make it a bit easier. And I am moving, so the sound probably will change now. There we go. Now I'm sitting still again. So that might make it a little bit easier for you to see them. Shed a bit of light on the subject. And you could see all the shadows as I was doing that. So yeah, so I have already put the stickers on. I've got them all on my blocks ready to go, ready to use today. And then we have got the dies, of course. Now, my dies I have put on magnetic sheets. I purchased my magnetic sheets online. They come in A4 size, and then I cut them down. So this is the Earthen Textures dies, which coordinates with the Earthen Textures stamp set. And here they are here. They are absolutely gorgeous, stunning. And we have dies that cut out each one of these stamped images. And then we've got additional dies. So we've got the tropical fern, we've got the fan fern, there's handles for the tops of the pot, so you can add handles. We've got some twigs. We've got these little, we call these the double X's, but I'm not quite sure. You can use them in lots of different ways. You can use them for borders, like you can cut a whole heap of them and join them up, use them as borders, use them as little fences. They're kind of, I don't know, they remind me of like a little Aztec design. But these are really cute, and they really add, something beautiful to your project, and a little bit of interest as well. And then this die here, this is a really interesting one. This is actually an embossing die. So it's flat on that side, but it's got the embossing detail on this side. So this one doesn't cut, it's just for embossing, and it gives a really nice embossed finish to your project. So that one's really fun to play with. We play with all of these in my class as well, my upcoming Earthen Elegance class. So I show you how to use all of those. All right, so there you go. So that is all the products. As I said, I put mine onto magnet sheets, and then what I do is I trace around. I take a fine tip Sharpie, which I guess I do have it here. I take a fine tip Sharpie and I just trace around each of those dies, so that when I remove them, I know exactly where they're going to fit back on the die sheet. And I also know how many dies should be there. So if there's any that are missing, I'll know, and then I can hunt for them and straight away. And I love the magnet sheets because they don't fall off, and it's easy just to quickly whip them off, whip them back on, and you've got everything all together and you don't lose things. So, well, I don't. I don't tend to when they're on the magnet sheets. So that's what we're using today. We'll leave these out handy. We are using another die set too, actually, today. And I am just moving. So today we're also going to use the Something Fancy dies. These ones here that have got these beautiful labels. This one is a really lovely set and is very, very useful for lots of different projects. So we're going to be using that one today. We're going to be using this large label here. So we'll leave that one out handy too. Alrighty, so now I don't have, oh, actually, I know what I need to show you. Of course, I need to show you the beautiful designer series paper. So this is the Earthen Elegance designer series paper, and in here the colors are copper clay, Grey Granite, Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Pebbled Path, Pecan Pie, and Pretty Peacock. Now, anytime you purchase paper, if you think, oh, I want to get some more of that, you don't have to worry about going to look back in the catalogue for the number, because the number is here with the barcode. That's the ordering number. Okay, just in case you didn't, I don't always think to mention that, but the ordering number is there. It tells you the quantity here, and of course you've got the colors here, and it's in the different languages there. So, okay, so just a little tip to help you. Now, the papers are 12 by 12 inches, which is 30.5 centimeters by 30.5 centimeters, but I have already cut these in half for use. And yeah, so just imagine that these are full 12 by 12 papers, but they are absolutely stunning. You've got these beautiful sort of earthen, you know, textures like pottery, clay. I just love them all. I love them all. And then on the other side, you've got different patterns and textures, which is really awesome. So we've got the Misty Moonlight there. Oh, Megan said, is there a volume button for your AirPods? When you put your head down, the sound goes very low. Ah, interesting. Good question, Megan. I'm not sure. There might be, but because I'm now I'm not sure, because I've got 3 devices running, so I'm not sure where I would find that. Because I'm filming on my phone, I would think it would be on my phone, but because I'm filming there, I don't know. Let me have a look. I'll stand up for a sec so I can just see my phone controls. Let's see. Okay, so my voice is probably, I'm not sure if it's picking up through the phone or through my AirPods, because I'm standing right over my phone now. So is my voice really loud right now? I've just tapped on the settings. There is nothing there. So there's only a mute microphone. We don't want to do that. I don't think there's anything. What's that one do? No, we don't want that one. Nope. Nope. No, I can't seem to find anything there. And I can't go out of the filming button, like out of the YouTube button now. But yeah. Louder now. Oh, it was louder now. Okay, so maybe it's not picking up through my AirPods. Maybe it is picking up through the phone. Not super loud, but a bit louder. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking it's still picking up the sound directly through my phone, not actually through my AirPods. The sound is loudest when I'm close to my phone. Okay, so I think then that this, even though I've synced my AirPods, it must still be picking up the sound through the phone. So that's interesting. Okay. So, all right, what I might do, I'll take my AirPods out. I'll take my AirPods out. They were already connected to my phone, but not to my iPad probably. All right, so I've taken them out because I don't think that's making any difference, and we'll see how we go. I can move my phone a little bit closer to me if needed, so just let me know. We'll keep looking at the papers for a moment. Let me know how it sounds. Okay, so this is one of my favorites with this beautiful glaze dripping down the pot. Well, it looks like it's dripping down the pot. I love that one. Then on the other side, we've got these drips. This one is the one we're using today. Well, this is one of the ones we're using today for the pot. And I'm using this portion up here. So what I did is we're going to use the tall die. I'm not stamping the pot today, but you could, I guess. You could stamp it onto here if you wanted to, but I'm just die cutting. So I'm using this die, and I've actually just used this portion here because I didn't want all this detail. which I love. I love this detail, but I didn't want it for this card. So I'm just using this portion up here, and it gives you this beautiful earthen looking pot. Okay, so I'm just showing you that now because I might forget to show you later. So we've got that one, and then on the other side, now I cut that one a different way, but at the bottom there was blue. Oh, I don't know if I've got it. Let's see. I might have the other side. What was that one? That one. No, because I think I'm using it for the project. Oh, I might actually. Hang on. I've got a few offcuts from designing the class. Oh, yeah. So the bottom part of this one has like an ombre effect with the pretty peacock. It looks like the ocean. Kind of looks like the ocean. It's really beautiful. So, yeah, that's sort of the bottom part of that. Really pretty. Then we've got this one. This is one of the ones we're using today too. And how gorgeous is the pretty peacock on the other side of that one. This one is Moody Mauve, and I kind of think that one looks a bit like tiles. And then this is the other one we're using today as well. And then this is my other favorite one. This is like a floral imprint that's been pushed into the clay. And I just love this, and it looks so realistic, like especially in person, like this just looks so 3D. When I first saw this, I just had to feel it because I'm like, oh my goodness, look at the texture in that. And then I felt it and I'm like, oh, it's actually flat paper. But it looks so realistic. And then on the other side, we've got some more beautiful blue there, which is very distressed and just gorgeous, gorgeous paper. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So there you go. Okay, now for our the other product in the suite is this beautiful wavy trim. I love this. I've been having so much fun playing with this. It's very textured, and it's just beautiful to play with. And the best way to adhere this, I have discovered, is with glue dots. So we're going to use some of that today. So I'll show you that. Okay. All right. So here is my little kit for today. And as I said, I'm making a masculine card today. We're going to do a landscape card. Making a masculine card, a thinking of you card. I don't tend to make a lot of masculine cards, and especially masculine thinking of you cards. So I needed some of those, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make some today with you all, and we'll use these beautiful products, and I'll show you, yeah, how to do it. We're going to use that and that. These are just my spare pieces, but I'm going to create them with you today, so I'll pop them over to the side. This is the pot I was telling you about. So I've gone ahead and I've die cut that out of the designer series paper that I just showed you. And basically what I did is I cut a full size pot, and then I just took my paper snips and I just trimmed it down because I just needed a smaller pot. So it's like a half or just below a half of the actual pot die, because this one coordinates with this pot here. And this pot here in the stamp has already got a lot of texture built into the actual stamp, but that's why I didn't stamp and then die cut. I've just die cut because this paper's already got a lot of texture to it. So yeah, so that's why I did it that way. Okay, alrighty, so these are all the bits and pieces that we're going to be playing with, and my iPad has frozen. Let's just bring that back up. Hang on one sec, I'll just see if that's going to catch up. Right, got it. Okay, I don't know why that froze, but all good. I can see everything again now. Okay, so what we need is, now, I did take out a little piece. There you go. Oh, look, and you can see that beautiful ombre with the pretty peacock on the other side. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. Love it. But yeah, so this is the section that I used up here, was the top part of that piece. So this print on the 12 by 12 designer series paper is actually repeated on the top side, so like in the mirror image on the top side. So you get a thick band across the middle of this texture. Okay, so this print is at the bottom, and at the top and in the middle you get this print, and that's the section I've used today. I think I've said that 100 times, so I think we're all good. Everyone's all good with that. I'm not cutting another one today because I want to keep that other piece I just showed you as a full card front size. All right, let me run through what we have today. We have a piece of grey granite. This is, oh wait, was it grey granite I picked up? Which one did I pick up? Hang on one sec. Let me double check. I think it was. Well, I think it was. Let me check. Yes, it was grey granite. Sorry, I was designing this really late last night and I was playing around with lots of different colours and I didn't write anything down. So yes, yeah, doing it from memory right now. So grey granite, this is half a piece of A4 cardstock. So it measures 21 centimeters by 14.85 centimeters, scored and folded at 10.5. I've got a layer of the Earthen Elegance Designer Series paper. We're using this beautiful, it's like a almost like a chevron design in the grey granite. Well, grey granite, I think it's grey granite and pebbled path actually. And this one measures 14.45 centimeters by 10.1 centimeters. Now, the reason I give my layers in centimeters and I don't convert that to imperial measurements is because our card bases are a different size. So if I gave you the, because we work from A4 cardstock and in America they work from letter size cardstock. So your card bases are actually shorter and wider. Okay, so if I gave you my layer measurements in a conversion, it wouldn't be right for your card base. So just cut your card base to the size that you would normally cut them with, just a small border like that. So I think a lot of the times you use, like, is it, I don't know, is it a 1/8 of an inch or a 1/16 of an inch? I'm not quite sure. I'm not great with imperial measurements because we use metric here in Australia. So yeah, I think would it be an 1/8? 1, 2, I'm looking on my ruler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, an 1/8 of an inch. So you'd probably want an 1/8 of an inch border. So just cut this piece with an 1/8 of an inch border. Okay, and then we have a strip here, and the strip measures 14.45 by, I think it was 6. Was it 6? Yeah, 6 centimeters. I will put all these measurements on my blog. They'll be up there. They should be up there tomorrow, so don't worry if you miss the measurements today. All right, then we had that little piece of that designer series paper for the pot. Then I've got a piece of, I actually chucked in an extra one in case I needed it, but we only need one. We need a piece for our label, and this one was 10.5 by 7 point, can't even see without my glasses, 7.2. It's basically it was a card front size, or like a quarter sheet of A4. Sorry, a quarter sheet of basic white. Let me get this right. A quarter sheet of basic white, and then I just cut that in half. So yeah, I just needed it big enough to fit my label. And then I've just got an offcut of crumb cake. Okay. So that's all we are using today. Really, really easy. Okay, so let's start with our stamping. We'll put all of these pieces. Oh, and we do have a piece of the trim as well, and this one is 14.45, so just enough to fit across that layer. Okay, so pop those pieces to the side for the moment, and we'll start with our stamping. We're going to use this stamp here today, and we're going to use the sentiment that says, "You are proof there is good in the world." All right, we are stamping in Pebbled Path today. So we're going to use our beautiful new Pebbled Path. This is a really lovely grey colour. It's got like a brownish undertone. We're going to stamp ink this stamp up. So just tap, tap, tap with your stamp, and we'll just, let's stamp a second one. I should have stamped that over a little bit more to give myself a little bit more room, but that's okay. We'll stamp 2 of those. We only need 1, but we'll stamp an extra one just because we've got enough cardstock and we might use it on another project, or we might, oh, do you know what? Oh yeah, no, that's right. We are going to need the other piece of basic white because we need a piece for our sentiment. Yes, I totally forgot. So we do need a full card front piece of basic white, and I just cut it in half to use one side for my leaves and the other side for my sentiment. Sorry, I'm losing myself here today. This one is going to be die cut. We're not stamping on that one. All right, now for this one, for the sentiment, I'm just going to stamp this in the middle somewhere. Oh, actually, you know what? I should have stamped it off to the edge a little bit. Let me check my, see, I told you I was designing this really late last night. Well, actually, to be honest, it was the early hours of this morning. So, you know, that's what happens when you don't have much sleep. All right, so we're going to use the largest label, this one here, this one in the middle. We're going to use the largest one of those. And I just want to see, I want this sentiment to be off to the left a little bit, but because I stamped that right in the middle, I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to get that die where I want it around that. Oh yeah, that should be okay. Yeah, so if you're stamping your stamp it more off to the right hand side so that when you lay your die down to cut that, you've got that sentiment to the right side. Okay, so we want room here for our pot, and I've left myself just enough room. So I didn't plan that very well. I guess I could flip it over, couldn't I? And I could stamp it on the other side. No, I think that'll be okay. I think that'll be okay. Yeah, okay. All right, so we need a little bit of scrap. I'm just going to stamp these stamps off, get rid of all that excess ink. And then we'll give them a clean on our Simply chamois. Yes, my chamois looks disgusting and gross, but I do wash it. It's just that the ink stains it, but it still cleans my stamps beautifully. Look at that. There we go, nice and clean, as easy as that. Oops. Alrighty. So we're going to die cut that, we're going to die cut that. We would have die cut the pot as well, but I already did that ahead of time. And I don't have a whole heap of that colour left that I used for the pot, so I don't want to do another one. I don't want to waste any more of that pretty paper. All right, so bring in my mini. We're going to use our number 1 base plate, our number 2 clear plate, and then I've got another number 2 clear plate for the top. I'm actually going to line up my die here first, and I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape to just hold that in place so that it doesn't move. You could use post-it tape if you are able to find post-it tape. I haven't been able to find it in our stationery store yet. People have said that you can get it on Amazon. I don't use Amazon, so I guess there's probably other places I could source it, but I haven't found it yet. All right, so we're going to stamp that there like that. Make sure that that is straight. I stamped crooked, so my die is going to look crooked as I'm cutting, but I'm trying to get that sentiment straight. Now let me just check that I've got that die. Oh, it just fits. Look at that. Now, if you're putting a die through your die cutting machine that has a straight edge like that, try and put it a little bit at an angle. It helps it feed through the rollers, and so then it doesn't get caught on those rollers as it goes through, and you don't get that big speed bump as well. You love this sentiment, Kathy? Yeah, it's a really beautiful stamp set. A really beautiful sentiment, isn't it? Yeah, I agree. sentiment is great. Just like, it's just a really uplifting, there we go, that's what we wanted. It's just a really uplifting sentiment as well. Just really acknowledging, you know, the importance of somebody and how special they are. And that's my my idea for this card, is just, you know, a thinking of you, you know, you are special kind of card. Oh look, that washi tape stuck so tightly that it pulled all of my cardstock off there, but that's okay. All right, good. So that's awesome. Now I'm going to just separate these two because I've only got one die of these and I want to just run them through one at a time. So here we go. All right, now my dies, grab those. Oh, they're right beside me. I'm thinking, where did I put them? There they are. Okay, so we need this one here. And we've got the crumb cake as well. We're going to die cut the large fan fern as well. Now we only want the top part of the fan fern, so I don't need to worry about the stem because we're not using the stem part. I'm going to show you a different way of using that. You can use this die. Okay, so let's use one of those. See if I've got any sticky bit left on this washi tape to hold that, because it took off all that cardstock. So any sticky bits left on there? Yep, that'll do the trick. And we'll do this one as well. Oh, one thing I wanted to do is, in this die, I tend to get little bits of cardstock just caught in these two sections here. So I'll just poke that one out. The other one's already fallen out. Just so that I make sure that it cuts all the way through when you're die cutting your next image. So I'll just line this up with my image. Line up the stems, try and get the stems there inside the die. This one just takes me a moment to line up. There, there we go, that's it there. So once you get it in the right spot, stick it down. There we go. Now I don't think both of those are going to fit on my mini at the one time. Let's see, or maybe they might. I might get them both on here. Let's see, if I put that one on this side, whoops, that one on this side, and then this one here. You don't ever want to put your dies right at the edge either. So you've got to just be a little bit careful how you place them. Yeah, I think we'll be right with that. Put our top plate on. And there we go, got it. I love using my mini machine. It's so handy to have on the desk, and it doesn't take up as much space as the big one, because the big one, you know, it's a great machine, and I do use it a lot, but I tend to use my mini more when I'm sitting down. There we go. So that's all we need. We don't need that full stem, as I said, so that is really beautiful. In my class, I do show you a different way of using this one as well. And also, I think on was it one of my videos, one of my live videos I filmed a couple of weeks ago? I think I might have used that as well. And I showed you how you can cut apart the segments on that. You can actually cut apart each of these segments, and then they've got these, it's got these little embossed lines in it, which is great for detail, but also too, you can use them to shape. So you can pinch together, we're just using it flat today, but you can pinch together the leaves to shape them. Yeah, and then where that little bit of cardstock is, you just snip that between there to just, yeah, shape them up a bit more. But we're using it flat today, we're using it a bit differently. All right, now this other one I don't need, so I won't die cut that today. I'll just keep that as a spare for another project. And we'll pop out those extra little bits this time. I won't leave them in there. There we go, and we'll put these back on our die sheet. All right, so I think that's it for the die cutting. Move our mini. Oops, lost my other plate. Got left behind. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we've got our sentiment label, we've got our ferns, and we've got our little pot which I did ahead of time. Okay. Now we're going to do a little bit of inking on these. I've got some daubers, and I've got copper clay, crumb cake. Forgive the label has faded, but that is the colour of the crumb cake. I've put just a little piece of cardstock on the front so I can see the true colour. And then we've got the pebbled path as well. So we're going to do a little bit of inking on these. So we'll bring in our scrap paper. There we go. All right, let's do the crumb cake first. So the crumb cake, and I've got a different dauber for each colour. So crumb cake, I'm just going to put a little bit of ink around the fan fern. Now you could get away without doing this step on the fan fern, but I kind of figured I'm going to be doing inking on the other pieces, so I may as well do some on here as well. Now if I had have cut these little sections apart, it will be easier to get around each of the leaves on this fern, because then you can sort of move each one individually. But because I haven't snipped them apart this time for this project, you can't get as much ink on there, sort of thing. There we go. So we've just got a little touch of colour on the tips there. There we go. That's better. Okay, so we've just got little tips of colour there, and then, all right, so that's that one. Now we'll do the copper clay next. So does anybody else have this suite? Have you been playing with it? So the copper clay we're going to do on the pot. So let me know if you've already been using this suite. I would love to know if it's something that you've been creating with. How many cards have you made with it if you've been using it? Look at that. We just put that inked detail around the edge, and it just really lifts the pot. It just really outlines the detail, and yeah, it just adds a little bit of a pop to that pot. Okay, and now our pebbled path. We're going to do some pebbled path around the sentiment label. Oops, if I can pick it up. There we go. Now, the pebbled path is quite dark, so once you ink up your dauber on your ink, you might want to just dab it off a little bit onto some scrap paper, because it is quite heavy. It's like a real sort of smoky colour. Even though we have a smoky slate colour, but that's quite a bit lighter. So how does everybody else feel about masculine cards? Are masculine cards something that you love to create, that you find challenging to create? Let me know in the comments how you feel about creating masculine cards. And I know that some people, I know of some people that love creating masculine cards. All right, so now I'm going to take my blending brush, and I'm going to blend a little bit of colour over these, oh, I forget what they're, pampas ferns. So I'm going to ink up my blending brush, and I'm going to dab that off on the paper first, because I don't want it to be too heavy, but I don't want this piece to be too white either, because it's quite stark white in the the background, because of course I've stamped them onto basic white cardstock. But I don't want it to be too white. There we go. I think that's enough color just to soften that down a little bit. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, I'm not seeing any comments about masculine cards. So let me know. Oh, there we go. Rose says she finds them challenging. Yes. You have for more feminine sort of stamp sets too. Yeah, I find that as well. So I have to really put my thinking cap on when I start creating masculine cards. But if you look at some of the designer series papers and things like that, like there is a lot that you can actually use for masculine cards. In terms of stamp sets, I was thinking about this yesterday and I thought, well, you know what? Men love gardening too. So men do love plants too. So why not, you know, create a card with, well, I mean, this one is using ferns and it's sort of, you know, more neutral colors. But yeah, I kind of thought, why do we feel like that about when we go to create masculine cards? Because men love gardening. They love plants too. So why can't we give, you know, like a flowery card to a man? Because I'm sure that they would love them too. It's interesting, isn't it? When you start, you know, analyzing things like that. And I kind of thought, yeah, it kind of doesn't really make sense when we think about it, does it? Sherry says, trying to create quiet mail cards. What do you mean by quiet mail cards? Like subdued sort of colors? Is that what you mean? Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. Hang on, I'll come back to the comments in a sec. I've just got my head down for a moment while I glue this. All right. And so I think this pebbled path goes really well with the grey granite. So I think now that we have the pebbled path colour, we'll get a bit more use out of the grey granite, like personally, because yeah, they just go so well together. Look at that. It looks really awesome together. You really like this set too, Kathy? Yeah, it's so beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. And Kathy says, one thing I like about this suite is both women and men will really like it. Yeah, I think so too. It's very versatile, isn't it? Yeah. I've got a niece actually who is a potter. That's actually her job. And she's very, well, I come from a very creative family actually. We've got lots of creative blood flowing through our family in lots of different ways. Very musical. Like that's my, yeah, my siblings I'm talking about. My children are also very creative. But my siblings are very creative as well and very musical. I always tell everybody I'm the musical black sheep. I can hear music. I can, yeah, but I don't play an instrument. So yeah. Amber said the new in colors are great for masculine cards. Yes, they are, Amber. You're so right. They are. Yeah. Because we've got the wild wheat, the copper clay, the boho blue, and we've got moody mauve, which is like a, you know, a more sort of, it's a purpley pink. So you may or may not want to use that one. And what's the other one I'm forgetting? Pebbled Path. That's the other one too. So they are fantastic for masculine cards. Yeah. All right, so now we are adding our trim. Oh, and trying not to be blinging. I know, right, Sherry? Because I love my bling. But wait until you see what I'm using today and you'll go, oh, right, yes, so we can definitely use that for masculine cards. So I'm using glue dots for this. Yeah, I do like a lot of bling as well, Sherry. And so I totally get where you're coming from. But there is bling that we can use for masculine cards too that is appropriate. So I'm just putting some bling about every 3 or 4 of these sort of little detail sections on the trim, just to hold that down. I mean, I'm probably going overboard. You probably don't need that many, but you know, I love making sure things are secure. Oof. And put the last little bit on that second last piece. And the mini glue dots, they fit perfectly behind these little detail bits on the trim. So they are really awesome. All right, so we've got our paper all glued down. And then now we're going to attach our trim, and it's going to go edge to edge and just up a little bit, like no particular measurement. I'm just kind of using my eye. There we go. And that adheres beautifully. You can't feel any sticky through that. The adhesive just grips onto that ribbon or the trim, I should say. It's not really ribbon. And yeah, and it's great. All right, now with the sentiment label is going to go down here, and we're going to put some dimensionals on that. Now it is going to sit over that trim, so we want to make sure we don't put dimensionals where that trim is, because it's going to sit up wonky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that over, line that up where I'm going to have that sitting. So I want it to sit over the trim. And I'm just going to put some dimensionals up here in the top section. Now I'm using some dimensionals that are left over from some of my kits. So make sure you use the dimensionals from your kits and the adhesives. So, you know, use them up, don't waste them. The thing to remember is with some of the dimensionals in the kits, just measure them against your standard dimensionals. Some of them in the kits are a bit higher. They're like a similar height to our strips. Our adhesive strips, which are a bit higher, they're about the same height as those I discovered. So just double check and don't mix your different heights, because otherwise your projects will be wonky. So yeah, so just make sure you're using the same type. So I'm using up some of these ones. Pop this over here. All right, and I'll put a row down here that are just going to sit there, and these will hold it really firmly in place, but without adding any adhesive where that is going to sit over the ribbon there. Now, before we put that down, I'm not taking the adhesive off the back of this yet. I'm going to work out where I want to have this sitting. So it's going to be sitting about there. And this little piece here, we're going to use that as an accent. Okay, so it's going to be coming out from behind our sentiment frame, like that. Isn't that cool? So we can go ahead and adhere that once we know where we're going to have everything positioned. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I'll put a bit of glue on the back of this one, just down the bottom here. And then we'll slip that in under, remembering that's not adhered yet. Make sure you've got that lined up exactly where you want it. And we're going to have that coming out at an angle like that. Okay, so that's just a different way of how you can use these as added accents, but without having to have them in a pot or, you know, something like that. Okay, right, so we've done that. So now we're ready to remove these backing pieces. Now you'll notice that I didn't ink around the edges of the designer series paper. You certainly could add that step in if you wanted to, but I thought, no, I'm just going to keep them, you know, plain as they are, because there's a lot going on in them already. On some of my other projects, I did do additional inking, but you certainly don't need to if you don't want to. There we go. And then we're going to pop our pot. So we'll put a dimensional on our pot. Now, we're going to have these coming out of the pot, but just check to see the length of, whoops, depending on how short you've trimmed your pot, you might need to trim some length off the bottom of your ferns there so that they don't stick out. You certainly don't want them sticking out the bottom of your pot. That would look funny. So, but I think we're going to be okay. And I think they're going to be able to sit up like that. In fact, we might have them sitting down like that, and then our pot might be layered up. That would be good. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of my pot. So we'll just put 2 dimensionals on there. And then we have to line up where this is all going to sit. Okay, so we want our pot sitting down here somewhere and our ferns coming up here. We still want to be able to see this in the back too though, so we don't want to cover that all up. So I think at a slight angle is good. Just trying to get the right angle here. Yeah, I think there like that. So straddling that one there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimensional behind this part here and then glue here. Okay, so I want to put a dimensional there. Make sure I'm using the same type that are the same height. Put one behind there and then glue on here. I'm worried that they're going to stick out from the bottom of the pot, so I'm just going to trim them down a little bit. I don't think they will, but I want to make sure they don't. All right, so a bit of glue on the tip that's going to be sitting on the sentiment label, and a dimensional there. I do need to remove the backing of the dimensional where that's going to hang off the edge there like that. Okay, so pop that down. Whoops, make sure that's off the edge. There we go. And then quickly before that sticks, I'm going to make sure that that's in the right spot so that they're still in the pot. Yep, that's a good angle there. Okay, like that. And then add our pot. Like so. Make sure I've got that straight. That's not straight. We want our pot straight. There we go. Beautiful. And then we're going to add that bling sherry. And I will show you what types of bling we can use for masculine cards. Oh, the fan palm. Yep, I added that in. Yep. You could shape the pot a bit. Yes, you could shape the pot a bit. Sorry, I just saw that. That is a really great idea, Rose. I could have used my bone folder to shape that pot down a little bit. I mean, I've just got dimensionals in the front, so if I use my fingers, perhaps I can shape that pot a little bit to give that a bit of a curve. But that would have been a great idea to shape that pot before I adhered that down. There we go. That gives me that actually has worked to shape that a little bit because I just put the dimensionals in the middle. Yeah, that gives me a little bit of a curve on my pot. You probably can't tell that on camera, but yeah. So we've got all of our details sort of, you know, to the right side. All right, now for some bling. We have some amazing bling that is great for masculine cards, and there's lots of different ones. There's metallic, there's other metallic ones. There is metallic sequins that we have now. There's a whole heap of new dimensionals. There's matte dots, all different sorts of ones that you can use for masculine cards and still have bling, but not have it too, you know, too sort of well, sparkly, I suppose. But these are great, the brushed metallic dots. Anything that's metallic is awesome for masculine cards. So I'm going to use, these are some extra ones that were out of my previous pack. I'm going to use some of these colors. These are pewter. So you've got gold, copper, and sort of like a pewtery, champagne-y kind of color. I think I'm going to use one of these. Just trying to work out where I want to have it. I might put that one up there. Oops, dropped that one. one down there, and then we've got an extra one here that you could put, like, you could go crazy, you could put them wherever you wanted to, but I thought they'll stand out nicer. Oh, there we go. They'll stand out nicer here on the sentiment label, because this is quite detailed, so you can lose them a little bit on there unless you were using like the brighter colors. But with the pewter sort of color, you would lose it, I think, on the background. So there we go. So there is our masculine card. Pretty easy to put together, just with very simple layers. It's a beautiful card. You don't need it to be too fancy and too, you know, fiddly. You could even switch the sentiment around the other way and have the sentiment stamped on the left side and put the pot on the right side, although then you probably couldn't fit the fan in on that side. So there you go. What do you think? Do you like that? And thank you for the idea to shape that pot a little bit too, Rose. That was a really great tip as well. You could do lots of shaping on that. You could shape the fan fern in the background to have that sitting up a little bit more. I didn't snip those layers, so it's probably a bit hard for me to do that now, but you probably could still shape them a little bit if you wanted to. But yeah, or you can just leave it all really flat. So there you go. So there is a great idea for a masculine thinking of you card, using the Earthen Elegance Suite. So I hope you really enjoyed that. Oh, Sherry said very nice. Rose said very nice card. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. I love the color palette too. I think it's just really, yeah, just really lovely. So there you go. There is our little project for today. So remember, 2 secs, and I'll grab it. Oops, where is it? Remember that I have got my Earthen Elegance card class coming up, and this isn't one of the projects from it. This is an additional project, and you will have enough designer series paper and products to create this card too. And if you don't have this label die, you might have something else in your stash you can substitute with, or you can just cut a simple rectangle. So super easy, just to, you know, still do the same sort of thing, but use a simple rectangle. So be sure to check this one out. The registration form is in my links. This designer series paper, oops, hang on, I dropped something. This designer series paper that I've used today is also in the paper sale. Sorry, I was looking down, my voice probably trailed off then. I was looking down, I was trying to find my flyer. So the Earthen Elegance designer series paper is part of the special. So it is 15% off as well. So if you're not participating in my class, but you love this designer series paper, you can get it for 15% off during the specials as well. So be sure to check that out. So lots of options, lots and lots of options. So I hope that, yeah, that you enjoyed that. Let me just flip the camera back up so that I can say goodbye to you all face to face. So bear with me for 2 secs while I do that. Here we go. There we go. Oh, I better adjust the lights or I'll be sitting in the dark. That's one. That's my temperamental light over there, the one on the right side. It's always temperamental. It doesn't like to change position. There we go. Okay, so there we go. So I hope that that gave you some more ideas of creating masculine cards, because yeah, they can be challenging. But remember, as I said earlier, that men like gardening as well. And it depends, you know, the colors that you use. And some men like really bright colors, some like more muted, you know, natural tones. So we've got so many different designer series papers to create with. And remember, with your designer series papers, always check the other side. So on one side, you'll have a really, really decorative piece. Usually this is how it works. You have a really decorative pattern, but then on the other side you have a more muted or a plainer sort of pattern and color and tones and things like that. So be sure to remember to use the reverse side of your papers as well. So it's so great that our papers are double-sided and that we can do that. So yeah. Rose said, I think, oh, you think you're going to buy the paper, Rose? Yay, that's awesome. Oh, it's so beautiful. You will love to play with it. I just love the rich colors and the texture. I love texture. So yeah. Oh, Laurie says very nice. Thank you, Laurie. I'm glad you all enjoyed that. So yeah, so if you make masculine cards, or if this has inspired you to create some masculine cards, I would love to see them. So feel free to send me photos of your masculine cards. You can contact me via my email, or you can find me in Messenger. You can message me from my business page link, my Facebook business page. So yeah, now if you haven't already subscribed here to my YouTube channel, and I forgot to say this at the beginning, please subscribe, and while you're there, click on the bell icon so that you can choose how you would like to be notified when I upload new videos and when I go live and things like that. So yeah, make sure that you do that so that you don't miss out being notified, and you'll be always up to date. Check out my blog. I've got lots of creative inspiration. The other cards that I have created with this suite are also on my blog, and there's videos here as well. So I've now created, what did I say? Nine cards with this suite. So 5 of them are in my class, so you'll only find those in my class. And the other 4, there are videos and blogs as well. Well, this one won't be blogged yet, but this one will be blogged tomorrow. So it'll be up there. Yeah. Thank you, Megan. I'm glad you all enjoyed that. Well, I hope you have a great weekend. Well, today is Thursday, so we've got one more day and then the weekend. I hope you all have a great weekend. Now, I won't be going live next Monday because it is a public holiday here in New South Wales in Australia, in our state. So I'm taking the day off. I'm going to spend some family time that day. So I will be back again next Thursday here on YouTube at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Time. So I look forward to seeing you all then. And we're going to have, hopefully, I will have received all of my swap cards next week so I can share those with you next week. So, thank you, Laurie. Yes, you too. Have a wonderful weekend. And thank you all so much for joining me, those of you that could come live. And those watching you the replay later on, thank you to you as well. And feel free to leave comments if you're watching the replay as well and let me know. All right, take care, everyone. And as I always say, happy crafting. Bye.